What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Blues Garage _48. Today we are installing the N2MB wide open throttle watt box on my 2011 Ford Mustang GT. I can't find great wiring diagrams or anything that go through this, so I'm just gonna make my own, and I will be showing you guys basically every wire that needs to go in there and every wire that needs to get hooked up. Now my setup's a little different. I got this guy here, but I will show you guys exactly how to do it. I will show you on my computer. My computer's down there, and I'll show you on the box down there. So I'll let you guys know where everything is, what it looks like, and I will walk it through like step at a time. So let's get to it. For now though, I'm gonna take off all this crap, take off this front bumper, and basically just so we can get to my distribution box, and we can get to my computer. So let's get this all out of there. So I removed all this crap here. I got to the box. I broke off a bunch of crap that I'm gonna have to go through and fix later. But what I'm gonna do now is, if I had my headlamp somewhere, oh well. So I took the battery out. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the tray off, 8mm. This pulls right out. So now that I got that off, all the bumper, I got the battery out, the tray out, I'm gonna take off the wheel and take off the liner. So I got all the pins out here.
His name is John.
All right then. Now we will be heading out. From this grommet here, I'm gonna cut this off. If I had my knife on me, I would do it right now, but cut this piece off, and we're gonna basically route that wide open throttle box through this here. Just to show you guys basically what's in the kit. We have our wiring harness here with 5 wires, if I remember correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wires here. We have the actual box in here. We got the connector that goes to the box to our computer so we can hook it up. We got some zip ties, some heat shrink, and our grounding cable that we're gonna tie up later. So for now, let's get this into the car. So what I always like doing when I have wires that I'm gonna snake, I always put some black tape around them. So when I snake them through, they all go in together. I overlap a little bit on the tip so I can kind of just press it together, make kind of a pointed end. Like this. So when I snake it through, it just goes right through. Just a little tip to help out. Blues Garage tip right there, guys. Just a quick word of advice. Make sure before you start going upside down and everything, get some wire strippers, strip the wire, and then crimp this guy onto your ground wire. So it'll be much easier if you do it now than any other time. So I'm in the car now, cleaned out my whole glove box. You know, I never know why it's called a glove box. No one really keeps gloves in there. Anyway, you press these into the side and this comes down. Well, it should. I did not clean out my glove box. There we go, one side, the other side. There we go, comes right down. Ooh, that's hard to see. All right, guys, let me flip upside down real quick. Guys, so now that I'm upside down, kind of roundabout in my Mustang, I take my wrapped up end, go down to here. Sorry if you guys can't see very well. I can't either. And there's the grommet. I'm gonna show you guys. There's the grommet we just cut right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna snake it right through the hole on the right side, and I'll be back in a second because I need like both hands for this.
A few moments later.
All right, everyone, so I'm underneath kind of where my glove box is, passenger side. Routed it through that grommet there, routed it up, zip tied it to just some wires, put the USB cable in, mounted it inside my glove box. So I have it here now, and right where I'll plug in my computer, I'll have it here, all ready to go. Now under the firewall, I have my wires here. I can pull these through. So the way I'm gonna route these wires is I'm gonna pull these all the way out. I'm going to route it back behind here, and you can route it up here, or you can listen to the manual which says route it up, but I'm gonna route it all underneath because I got a little too much hot stuff going on over here. So I'm gonna route all the way underneath. I'm gonna route the ones I need to up to this box, and then route the ones I need to down to this here. The manual basically says to go up here, through here, out here, around to your box and your computer. Mine are both not here, so you can route them up, over, ground it to here. I have things grounded here. I might ground them to here, but like I said, manual says come up here, ground here, run it to your two guys right here. I'm gonna do it differently. I got too much stuff here. I'm gonna pull them out, go around here to my computer, and then up through this hole here to my block. Same exact thing. All right guys, so I actually ran the ground here, if you can even see it. I ran the ground wire here, so I have basically a ground terminal here. I was gonna route it there like I said, but it came right up easily up into here, so I'm grounding it where everyone else is grounding it. And I ran them here. These can push back. Wheel liner will go on. These get routed up along there, tucked in. And now I'm gonna start getting to the actual block. Well, the computer. So let's get onto the computer. So what I'm actually gonna do first is I am going to take care of the red and orange wire. I have the manual here. Yeah, I know. We're looking at instructions.
Bruh.
But I'm gonna take care of the hardest one first. In my opinion, that's gonna be the ignition coil power. So that's going to be these two wires I mounted up here. Look at the directions. This is the only one that goes to the power distribution block. So taking it from here, opening up this case. Now this case, it's hard to see, but I'll show you guys. This case seems, put it right on my paint so I can scratch it. This seems to open up if you pull these back. So you pull these tabs and they are all the way around the distribution block. So I'm going to slowly pull these all apart and separate the two. So let me get to that now. All right, so plans changed a little bit. I cannot access or lift this up because the coolant hose is in the way. So I'm draining the coolant right now, and that's gonna take forever. So slowly draining the coolant down. So I'm not gonna do this right now. I'm gonna get to the PCM side of everything. So let me get to the plugs so I can show everyone everything. So we have top, middle, and bottom. So that's gonna correlate here to top, middle, and bottom. The small one's gonna be your top. What we will be doing is we're gonna take the top one, this guy here, pull this, I hope you guys can see well. Pull this down, and then it comes out just like that. So this is our top right here. So what we're gonna do is remove enough of the loom, find the T connector, access the wires, splice the green, this guy, into the green and violet wire. So let me splice this back and get to that wire. So I peeled this back. Now we can get to the wires. I also took this connector off so we can see what pin it is. So if you look at these pins here, it has the starting number all the way through and then the ending number of each row. So we have the second row, it says 23. We're looking for pin 21. So 23 is empty. 22's got this gray wire, and 21 has our violet tracer green wire. So green wire with a violet tracer. So this is the one we're going to be splicing in for the cruise control clutch switch. So green wire will be going into here. See, splice green wire into green violet. So I'm going to be cutting this and splicing it in. So cut this wire, guys, and then splice. Basically, you will be cutting it, and then I am basically taking this piece here. I'm going to wire strip it if I can reach right there. Just like this. So these three wires are gonna be for the watt box. They're gonna be input wires. So basically they'll be telling it whether the clutch is pressed, you pressing the cruise control button, where the accelerator is in terms of voltage, as well as the ignition and fuel injector control signal. So basically what you're doing is you're tying in these wires into those, so these can be the inputs. The only wires that are output are the ignition coils. So it uses all these as inputs, input into here, and this outputs into the ignition control power. So when you tell it to do anything, no lift shift, ignition coil power. When you tell it to hold a certain RPM for rev launching, ignition control power. And it uses all three of these to say, hey, where these satisfy, we can cut this. As far as I understand, that's what's going on here. So what I'm gonna do now is I will be putting these guys together. Just like that, not going anywhere. Flip this guy over, it won't really fit. Kind of need more room from this guy then. I always grab it with these boys, just like that. Seat it all the way down, bam. This connector isn't going anywhere. Come down with this, put the tiniest bit of heat into it. Definitely don't want too much heat. There we go. And just like that, we have our first connection done. So this is all good here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape this all up, wrap it all the way up, and then tuck it back into that connector. So I tied this all up here, taped it all up, all the way back up until here, put it back into the loom, click this little guy in, put it back. Now we're all set. So we can plug this guy back in. You don't have to. You can do them all first if you want. Just like that, back in. Now we'll take the E connector they were talking about here. Oh man, I have no play with this. All right, nice. So I'm just gonna do the same thing, and I'll let you guys know once I get everything disconnected here. So let me get to this now. So this is going to be if we look here, splice the yellow wire from the watt box into the yellow violet tracer on pin 13. So pin 13 is gonna be on this top row here. This is 1 through 17, so 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, right here. This is gonna be our wire right here, right on pin 13. So same exact thing. We are going to leave room on both ends, cut, then wire strip both, give it a good twist. Same thing with this guy, good twist. And then I'm gonna do the same exact thing with connecting them. So now I got this all taped up. Gotta put this shroud back on though. So clips in just like that, and I'm gonna tape up the top here. So actually, I'll be right back. Now lastly, what we have is this last connector, the B connector or bottom connector. So this is cloth, so I'm gonna have to take my time ripping this apart. This one will be looking for we're using the blue wire from the watt box. We're gonna connect it to the blue white on pin 29. We got here, it's gonna be on the second row. We're looking for pin 29. So we got 33 at the end of the second row, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29. That blue wire right there. So that blue wire comes up back here and right here. Blue with a white tracer. So this is the wire we're gonna be splicing into. I cut it all the way up. It's all right if you cut it up, because as long as you cover it up, you can cut it up as long as you cover it up. Yeah. So I'm gonna splice it right into here. So let me get to that. And there we go. Got it all taped up. Got this blue wire attached to the blue wire with a white tracer. That's gonna go back on the bottom. I taped it up a lot, so I gotta kind of manhandle this one a little bit. There we go. These are all good now. I taped that up a little too much, so but that's all right. I always like leaving myself extra room just because you never really know what's gonna happen. But what I'll do is I'll just tie these up. I got zip ties up here somewhere. Zip tie these up here, just like that, and bam. Those wires are tucked, not going anywhere. So I can put the fender liner back up. More zip ties never killed anyone, right? I don't know, actually. Don't quote me. Not too tight. And then bam. Now we can go up to the top. Since I drained out a few gallons, well, a gallon and like a quarter of some coolant and no more is coming out, I'm gonna undo that top radiator hose. So I got this finally out. That all removed. Fun stuff as always, guys. So this fuse right here So we look at the box. Everything correlates. We're going to use fuse 40 is the one we're looking for, which is this guy right here, 40, that 15 amp fuse. And right on the end, I already pulled it out, is the yellow wire with the green tracer. So we're going to be splicing this. Now this is very important what we're going to do here. So right when I pull this wire out, I don't have much room. You guys will have a lot more room if you don't have the twirly boys on there. So going back to here, this nice guide, you can get this from the website. You have to go to installations, N2MB installations. This, the top is going to the fuse. So the part that goes to the fuse, you're gonna tie the red wire into. So when I snip this, red wire goes to the fuse. Orange wire will go down to where the coil ignition power is. See? So cut here, splice black red or red black pair in, so that only connection is through the watt box. So basically you're cutting this out, so everything has to go through that wide open throttle box to make it function correctly. So like I said here, this red wire is going to the fuse. So it'll be going, I don't want to call it upstream, but it'll be going up towards the fuse. This bottom one is going down into the harness, which will be going boom, boom, down into there. I think that makes sense, right? Should make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, I'll show you guys how I did it. So without further ado, let me get to splicing and cutting and taping. Let's go. So as we can see here, I got these both spliced in with heat wrap or heat shrink on them. So this is going to the fuse. We have the red line. So red line going to the fuse. Then we have the orange one, ignition power coil, which is down. Orange one going down. So here we are. It's nice and tucked. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap these around so they go following this wire harness here. So both of them come out of that same kind of hole. And then once I do this, I'm going to close the box, make sure all of them snap in. There we go. So this one won't stay in, but I'll make it work. It's not pretty, but it's honest work. So I got everything back together. Got this guy kind of back down into here. It's supposed to go somewhere there. I broke my radiator fan plug, so I need to make sure my radiator turns on, because if that doesn't, I'm gonna have to replace the whole shroud, which means everything here has to come out. Yay! Anyway, hopefully I didn't mess anything up internally there. So now that that's tucked into there, I can go back. I can put my filter back on. There we go, beautiful. One day I'm gonna have to clean up all those wires. Today's not the day. So there we go there. Now I know the whole system took this much, so now I'm gonna add, I have to add all this back into the system because that's how much was in the system. All right guys, so I'm in my computer now. I'm gonna go to n2mb.com/wattbox software. I got the Wattbox. Now I'm downloading the program. There you go. So Wattbox software. Yep. Download in instructions. Now I'm gonna save this to my desktop. Open it up. Definitely gonna have to unzip it. There we go. Step 1, instructions. We love instructions. Install the drivers. Important. Double click on step 2 to install the driver. So let's go back. Step 2, double click, install the drivers. Absolutely, take over my computer, it doesn't matter. Should I press install? If you receive the message, click run. Oh, down here. Next, you will receive driver, click install. Install. The drive was successful. Pre-installed in advance. Love when things work. So next, go back to the instruction manual. Hello. All right, instruction manual does not want to open. There we go. Plug the USB to serial adapter into your computer. All right, this guy here, plug it in. Copy the Wattbox software to your desktop. It already is on my desktop. My computer's not having a good time anymore. Connect the USB serial to the Wattbox serial pointer computer. Turn your car key to the on position. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta turn my fuel pumps off or else it'll kill my battery. So double click the Wattbox software. Since auto is selected, by default, click read. You will receive a message below. For a first time connect yes to upgrade. Okay, so we're gonna upgrade. Was successfully completed. I love good news. Update successful. Your software should look like this. Yes. Cool beans. Set up your settings to match your car by following the instructions below. Recommended settings for common cars are included below. Do not use the Wattbox software while driving the car. All of the tests below should be completed before moving the vehicle. That's how you say it, guys, technically. Reading data, you've connected the Wattbox to your computer. You can now change settings. Okay, cool. Click the down arrow next to the RPM source box. I got a freaking Ford, bro. If your instructions say to connect the yellow Wattbox wire to an ignition coil signal, select other ignition signal. If your instructions say connect to fuel injector, if your instructions say to connect the yellow wire to ignition coil, yellow wire does not go to ignition coil. This is ignition coil. This is just ignition control signal. So we do not do that. Next, make sure your number of cylinder is correct in your boxes, which it is. We have 8. Click right. Make sure that the clutch and accelerator are not pressed. Click read. Up, up. Cool. Press the clutch down and click read. All right, so pressing the clutch now, read. Good. DN. Press the accelerator down and click read. All right, gonna press the accelerator down and click read. All right, oh, it still says up, but the number did change. Oh, it's because this, guys, I have a 2011 Mustang. With a 2011 Mustang, I need to do something a little bit different. If the TPS section of the vehicle snapshot section reads up when the accelerator is up and DN when the acceleration is down, you're done. If not, you will need to change the TPS threshold in both the launch control window and the no lift shift window. To do this, ensure that you have the Wattbox connected to the vehicle. Change the TPS threshold to 1.7, click right. TPS threshold, let's move it to 1.7. So that was successful. Accelerator all the way down, read, not reads down. So we're good now. Since this was at 3, it did not see my throttle position sensor all the way down. Since my throttle position sensor all the way down reads 2, I'm going to put this as 1.7. So anything in between 1.7 volts and 2 volts will read as the accelerator pedal being down. So now that it's up, they both say up. If I press on the clutch and I press read, it should say down because we're at 5 volts. If I go release the clutch, nothing's pressing. They should both say up because both pedals are up. Now if I press on the gas all the way and I click read, it should be at 2 point whatever volts, 2.2 volts. It's going to read down because it's under the threshold, or above the threshold, I should say. So we're all good there. Now, that's all good. We can go back to the regular settings. Start your car, click read. Wow, all right. So you can now start the car, click read again to verify the RPM in the box shows your idle RPM. If the RPM isn't correct, check the instructions, make sure you did everything right. Remember, the Wattbox GUI only reads a snapshot. So right when you press read, it gives you that one data point. So one thing it wants you to do is, no, there we go. We recommend disabling the launch control lockout, but it's not required and generally makes it more difficult. When enabled, the engine RPM must be below this RPM before you push in the clutch. No, that's fine. So just don't push the clutch in while driving and floor the gas. Okay. Using no lift shift in auto mode automatically cuts the ignition. So there you go. It's in auto mode up there. Since almost everyone takes longer than 350 milliseconds to shift, this is essentially the same as setting it to 350 milliseconds. Start off with no lift shift, set this mode, easiest shifting. Once you're comfortable with no lift shifting and want to go faster, try switching to manual mode. Set 250 milliseconds to start, just up or down where you want to feel. Anything less than 100 is probably too short and you're not doing much to make no lift shift easier. A global rev limiter is available if you want to limit your engine RPM at all times to be below this value. I don't need that. PID, KP, and KI. These values control how accurate the launch control holds the RPM you program. We do not recommend changing these values. Okay, I'm not gonna do that then. Recommended settings for most cars. What's it got for my Mustang? It actually has 1.71, So 4,000, I can do whatever I want there. 1.71, 8 CKP. Yep, these are gonna be different no matter what. You have 350, but I have it set to auto. Rev limiter off. Good. So this matches what we have here, which is perfect. And I think that's about it. Yeah, so that's all the settings. So this is how I have mine set up. This is how I'll keep it. And what's really nice about this whole program is if you hover over something, it'll tell you what it does. So it's really nice to have. Basically hover over and be like, I don't know what this means. All right, it'll tell you. But 4,000 is so high for these Mustangs. I'd be right at the center. As for launching this thing, that'd probably be great for burnouts. Light up the tires. I wouldn't even go straight probably into a crowd. But this is how I have it set up. It looks like everything is working properly. So what I'll do is I will button up everything underneath the hood. I will start her up, I'll pull her out, and I'll see how she does. So I'm in my car now. It says start your car, click read again. So I'm gonna click read. All right. Verify the RPM box in the lower left shows your idle RPM. There we go. So I click read again. It read my RPM, so we're good there. Shooting dash testing. Okay, I don't have that problem. Next, start the engine. Quickly press on the gas to the floor and immediately step on the clutch. Let's try it out. I mean, it did hesitate for a second. The tube step will not engage if the gas is pressed before the clutch. This is normal. Okay. Press the clutch pedal down and press the gas pedal all the way down. Let's do a lower RPM. Let's do something a little bit more safe. Let's do 2,000 and then right. All right, guys, so my camera just died. So I was changing the RPM here. So we're gonna test out the two-step and see if it works. So clutch all the way down. Gas, and let's see. Oh. We're not running on all cylinders, I can tell that much. There we go, she's back. He said he turned misfire logic off, so clutch in, gas. So it does work. How much boost do we make? Let's see, 3,000 RPMs. Let's see what happens. That sounds so cool. You hear it spooling up too. Then she keeps misfiring though, see? Misfiring. Then back to normal. That's very weird. So we're definitely gonna have to figure that out. As for everything else, I mean, seems okay, so. Alright guys, don't mind my hair and the dead DJI, but that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Thanks for joining, and I'll catch you later. Blues Garage _48 out.